All right, we should be live here on the Lefty Show. Numero 13 on the Lefty Show.
That's this many.
You almost held up the wrong number of fingers, didn't you?
Well, it was confusing.
No. You legitimately started to hold up only 2 fingers when you went to switch to the
And
furthest.
this one was just like retarded. I'm like, all right, get it up there. Get it up.
Anyway, let's get a live confirmation.
I've got 5 seconds left on this advertisement I am watching to help support the Lefty Show.
As always, we will do our best, regardless of your decision, to put on a great show for you. But we would appreciate it if you. We are live. We would appreciate it if you turn off ad block as for right now. Lefty Show starts right now.
It's Lefty.
Damn it, it's getting hard to hold this.
This is the Lefty Show.
See, I can't headbang anymore. I can't headbang because the headphones will fall off. Anyway, welcome to the Lefty Show, episode 13. 13. Number 13. 1-3. We've done this show 13 times.
13 weeks. That's actually a long time.
More than 13 weeks, actually, because we've taken...
Yes, we've taken 2 weeks off.
We've taken weeks off here and there. But we've done this show. We've done this... Not this intro, because this was added well into the show itself. But yeah, we've done this a few times. But anyway, this is the 13th episode of the Lefty Show. We are back after a brief hiatus, and of course our cast is decimated. Katie is not here. Katie had a work schedule conflict, and she's a full-time student as well as I think she qualifies as full-time working. And when they say you got to work here, she's got to do it because she doesn't have YouTube to support her. And Hutch, as many of you know, got a brand new PC. But because of that, we are having some Windows 8 compatibility. It was so funny earlier. How long did it take him to figure out Skype? Like, literally.
It took him 15 minutes to figure out how to work Steam, and then it took him an additional 15 minutes to figure out how to just find us in Skype.
But, the Steam thing was something else, though. That was a different reason. That was a different screw-up. That wasn't Windows 8 related. But the Skype thing, he was like, okay, well, so how do I find... Why do I give him that accent? It wasn't because of the reason you think it was, but he was like, "How do I find the Skype call?" And we were like, you got to look for this." And then he's like, "Okay, I found the Skype call. How do I find the Skype chat? How do I find the group chat?" And it's like, "Well, you click on this little icon, and then it pops up." And he's like, "Okay, I found it. I'm sending you guys a message." And then I got a message. Not Chiz, and so we had to explain to him that he was in the wrong window. So having compatibility issues, but we'll iron it out. It'll be all ironed out in the coming weeks when we decide to rebrand. But anyway, where are my manners? This is my co-host, Dr. Chiz. Chiz, I'm getting a little echoing from my audio coming through your headphones.
Really?
I mean, I know I sound nice, but do you have to blast me?
I turned it down. Should be good now.
A little bit.
Turn it down.
It's okay. It's okay. I love your new hat. See?
Thank you.
I said something. I was critical of something, but then I said something nice.
You did.
I like your Luigi hat. Anyway, my co-host, Dr. Chiz, you can follow him at Dr. Chiz on Twitter. You can follow me at Lefty643. If you want to interact with the show, you can also do that via Twitter. Just add hashtag Lefty Show, # Lefty Show. Pound it out. Pound Lefty Show to your tweets, and that is how we'll see you and get in touch with you. So where have we been the last few weeks, Chiz? What's been going on? Last week was,
Hutch, as well as many YouTubers were at PAX last week, so that's unfortunately why they could not attend. I had to go do something in San Diego, which I think we should just talk about for next show, because the thing I was there for launches next week, so we can just talk about it then. But I had a gig to do in San Diego, so that's also why I cannot attend. A gig. The band, we got our stuff together, we rolled down to San Diego.
The funny part is that the previous week we had Hutch had some commitments. He was doing the Origin thing 2 weeks ago.
Right.
He was doing the EA
Crisis
Origin
thing.
The Crisis 3 thing. And so we were like, he was like, dude, I got something on Thursday. Can we do like a later show? I was like, well, I don't really want to compete with PKA on Friday. And I don't, Saturday we'll see. And then it was kind of hot. We were trying to cobble together, and then I was just like, screw it, we'll come back on Thursday. I had completely forgotten about the whole PAX thing, and then you brought it up. You were like, "Wait, isn't Hutch going to PAX?" I'm like, "Oh, son of a..."
Yeah, we were debating it for a long time whether to do a Saturday show for that initial first one we missed. And then we're like, we'll do it next Thursday. And then like Tuesday, I was like, wait a minute, Hutch is going to PAX, and then something just came out for me.
Right.
So of course, nothing came together at the right time.
So, but we're back. This is.
We missed it.
Is this going to be our last episode? Is this going to be the last episode of the Lefty Show?
I think so. We're going to try really hard for this to be the last episode of the Lefty Show. And rebrand, we're going to come back super strong.
This has been the longest, most drawn-out death of a show ever.
Well, the hardest thing is, like, we can flip a switch and do it, but it's like we want to rebrand properly, so we got to get the right graphics done and the right graphic people. If you're out there and you're really good, I don't mean you make thumbnails like me and Lefty, because we're not really good.
Because I make them in Vegas, and I suck.
Yeah, well, wow.
I don't even have Photoshop.
I use Photoshop, but still, they're nothing amazing. But if you're really fucking good, then tweet at us some examples of work, and if you'd like to help rebrand, that's not why you call.
We are definitely open to negotiating a price to pay you for your work, and of course that would be if we pay you, then I don't think we would enjoy your insignias and stuff all over it. But we're definitely open to doing it. It's just it's really hard because I want to be like, this is the new show, and I don't want it, because we did for a while with the Lefty Show. Every subsequent week we tried out different templates.
Yeah,
and
which were awesome.
Which were awesome, and I think everybody that submitted templates, you did a fantastic job. I was really happy. But I think that was more hodgepodge. I think now, if we're going to do That's Not Why You Called, rebrand, it's like this has been the warm-up. It's like, okay, we're learning podcasting on YouTube and what to do and how to do all of it, and so we want to do it right. Plus, I'm just a lazy bastard.
Yeah, like, and we're going to do it, and it helps to do he does forget. We want to do it on a very professional level, so when we do the rebranding, we'll have, permanent graphics. We're going to get it up on iTunes and stuff. That's a big thing, so you guys can put it in your car.
So you can listen to us. We'll be mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you want that?
Available to you wherever you want.
Stuck.
Yeah, you don't want to look at our mugs. You can just take the audio. You just get to hear. You just
go work out. Like to our
Maybe
voices.
Chiz will get a good microphone one of these days.
Oh yeah.
We'd have to get
those weights.
We have to get Hutch a new microphone too. We got to get him one.
Well, if anyone works for like Audio Technica or Rode.
Yeah, if you work for Rode and want to send us free expensive microphones.
I mean, I'll wear a Rode shirt every day.
That's also.
I'll get a tattoo right here.
And that's the other.
The canvas.
That's the other thing we can do is with the branding. It'll open us up professionally to coming sponsorships if the show does indeed have legs or wings and starts to take off. So it's all a rather delicate process. I mean, I could just make some crappy graphics and be like, oh, that's not why you called, but they would suck. And then in between weeks, I'd just watch the show over and over again and be like, those graphics really suck. And I don't like looking at them because they suck. So we're trying this, but seriously, it's been like a comedic, drawn out death, like bleh. And wait, I have this to say, and then bleh.
Yeah. We had our congressional meeting like probably 4 weeks ago, probably more than that.
Yeah.
But like typical Congress, it takes a while.
There was a filibuster. We got filibustered.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I just started reading, some Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I was like, we're not doing this right now.
But so yeah, we'll be back. The other thing I think it would be cool to do is because the Lefty Show is going to be no more. There's going to be no more, like the show, the people, the show we put on and stuff is still going to be there, but the Lefty Show is going to be effectively done.
Right.
Which is kind of weird when you think about it. Because we
will come out with an exclusive Season 1 pilot series Lefty Show DVD.
DVD behind the scenes.
We'll sign it.
We'll sign it.
Hey, buy it. Maybe we can afford some microphones.
No, if you buy it, we won't sign it. If you pay extra, we won't sign it. That'll be the thing. Like, get these damn signatures off of here. These are
I don't want
bad.
these scribbles on here. What the fuck is this?
These are awful. As always, anyway, forgetting the rest of the propers, we thank each and every person that drops a like on this video, on the stream. It does help us out. I greatly appreciate it. You all have gigantic wangs. And, of course, we'd appreciate it also if you took the time to turn off ad block for this stream. We're going to do our best, regardless of your decision, to put on a great, entertaining show for you, Chiz and I, for about an hour or maybe. But that's every time. But we'd appreciate it greatly if you turned off ad block for about an hour. This show is going to be shortened because, again, it's just Chiz and I flying the boat. I mean,
flying the boat.
Was
this Peter Pan?
I said that. I said it. Yep. No. I just up and said that. So
off to a great start.
Have fun with that in the comments, if you will. No, it's us piloting the ship, flying the what flies that we could, a Zeppelin?
I don't know, a plane.
Flying the plane, yeah, but a plane is sleek. It's fast. This show is bad and slow.
Zeppelin,
right? Flying the Zeppelin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That's Not Why You Call It Such Lefty Show. Zeppelin races over here.
Oh, the humanity! We should have that as a soundbite every time. Did you know that was fake?
Really?
The humanity thing was a put on. He did.
You're lying.
No, because if you listen, because there's other recordings of it, but when the hydrogen went up, there was a concussive, obviously a moving of air, and a lot of people were blown back. And the way they recorded things back then is they did a live recording, grooving of a record. So you would talk, the microphone would be hooked up, and it would be translated into, how deep the grooves or whatever, how the grooves are made, however records are done, and that's how they would do it. But the concussive force of the rapid expansion of the fire knocked the needle out of the groove. But it didn't do that for everybody. So there's other recordings. If you listen, you hear him say, "Get that needle back in there. Get that needle back in there." And then they put it in, and then you hear him, "Oh, the humanity. Oh, it's awful. It's just..."
Wow.
And so it's like,
what a phony.
Concern trolling in the 1930s.
No shit. I did not know that. I learned something today.
I mean, maybe he was genuinely heartbroken over all those people dying, but the over the top, I'm so overcome with emotion at this awful thing that's happening before me,
right,
was bullshit. Just a total farce.
Well, I'm a little sad now that I found out that's a huge big phony.
Well, it's actually when you think about it, it's not that bad, because you're reminded that this whole sensationalistic news cycle that we have isn't that much of a dynamic occurrence. It's not a modern affliction, really. The sensationalizing of news to sell things or to sell the news in and of itself isn't really, because that was happening in the 1930s when there wasn't really a 24-hour news cycle.
Right.
I mean, radio was, it was there kind of, but not everybody had a radio, and then all you had was the morning and evening editions of newspapers, and then other periodicals, weekly or monthly. Now, 24 news, whenever you want, you have access to it. And so it's not really an affliction of that. It's just it's comforting in that it's not new, but it's also kind of sad in that, oh man, maybe it's just a humanity, we're just all gigantic turds. As George Carlin said, so maybe something else around here sucks.
Maybe the public sucks.
Mm-hmm. And it was a great, obviously he used it for politics, but it was a great bit.
Yeah.
Fuck the public, or the public sucks, fuck hope.
Yeah, public sucks, fuck hope. Fuck hope.
I love George.
Which is funny, he came out with that, and then, Obama's whole campaign for 2004 was
Hope and Change.
Or 2008.
2008, Hope and Change. And how much change?
Yeah, no, hope's kind of dead.
Yeah. And his whole... this run around, he's like, hey, at least I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm not that guy. I'm not crazy rich plutocrat, even though I am kind of a crazy rich plutocrat because I've sold all these millions of books, but all this stuff. Speaking of crazy rich plutocrats, Square Enix is broke.
It's a liar.
They're broke. I linked you. This story, despite the sales of hit games, like Sleeping Dogs would you label that as a surprise hit?
Yeah, it was a hit and it was a surprise. So yes,
Because people were kind of excited about it, but it wasn't like I don't think.
it wasn't really mainstream, but it was a hit nonetheless.
Right, I think it turned out to be a lot better than people expected. Sleeping Dogs, despite the sales, Sleeping Dogs, Hitman Absolution, and Tomb Raider, Square Enix is posting a 13 billion yen loss
Which equates
for this
to,
fiscal
like,
year.
$30 million.
Is that what the conversion
so.
rate is?
I don't know. Yeah,
So-
somewhere around that.
How is that possible? Now, I mean, a lot of people, gaming corporations like to cry poor, and they like to say, "Oh, well, piracy is killing us, and we're doing this, and we lost money on that, and we have to charge for this, and we have to charge for that because we have to make money, and all that stuff." But a lot of the time, what they don't really focus on is how many units they are selling. How much did they sell in the last year of those 3 titles that the CEO of Square, a CEO representing Square Enix, said those slow sales are responsible for this huge loss we're posting? How many units total did they sell? Did Square Enix sell of those 3 games?
It was like probably at least 25 million, I think, total.
25 million units? Or was it
total.
Was it 9 million units? Or?
Well, that's the thing. Each game was different, and one was 9, one was 6, something was 7, I think.
Okay,
So I think it's 25. I'll pull it up here in a sec while you go.
Well, I've got this story right here. This is from Jim Sterling. Jim Sterling's a great video game reporter, by the way. I suggest all of you go follow him on Twitter. He's got stuff on theescapistmagazine.com, and he writes for Destructoid.
Escapist is an amazing website.
The Escapist is. It's got
Go watch Yahtzee.
Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. He's great.
He's amazing. That's a goal. We want him on here someday.
I do. I want I
We'll
want him.
games at
I
him.
want him as Yahtzee.
Yeah.
I want
'Cause
him
I've
in
heard him
0
normal.
punctuation mode.
I've heard him normal. I mean, his voice isn't different, but obviously, he speaks a lot faster and hits you all at once with his reviews. But
Yeah.
I want that.
Okay, so here's this from this article on posted to Destructoid. Sleeping Dogs sold an estimated 1.75 million copies to date, followed by Tomb Raider at 3.4 million and Hitman, that's Absolution, at 3.6 million.
Oh, okay, so it was about 9.
So that's 9 million units sold in this fiscal year, which you are
Hasn't been that long.
recording a 13 billion yen loss. Well, the last 4 fiscal quarters, which would compromise a year. And you sold 9 million units, and you're posting that big of a loss? Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it's not the problem of slow sales. Maybe it's not the problem of piracy. Maybe it's you're a shitty company. Because if you sell 9 million units of anything, let me pull up my calculator here. Because the thing a lot of people don't know is that the $60 you pay at the register for a game, that doesn't go directly to the publishers. There's a lot of overhead costs, not including paying the developers and stuff, but it goes to the publisher and then from the publisher to the developers. The publishers usually get around $30 to $40 of each full retail price game sale. That's about what they can expect. So let's take the low end of that. Screw it. Let's say $25. Let's just assume they get $25. Square Enix sold 9 million units. Did I wait? Nope, one more zero, I think.
235 million?
225, close.
Oh, fuck, that was my head.
But that's $225 million in income.
Yeah,
and
they're broke. It's a fail.
And you're broke.
And if the thing is, if you're comparing yourself to someone like Activision and Call of Duty, if that's your standard for success, then yes, you're failing very fucking hard.
Right.
But look at all the games out there. I mean, what does the average retail game sell in units per year? I'm pretty sure it's in the same ballpark as these games, with the exception of Call of Duty.
What do you sell in units? What are the qualifications for like a silver record, gold record?
I know one of them is just 1 million.
Is that silver?
I don't know. It's so confusing with this because you can get like double platinum, triple platinum, quadruple platinum. It just keeps fucking going up.
Right, but even if you get a silver record or a silver album, if you go silver or gold or whatever, that's a holy grail. You get that's like, oh man, we got a gold record, we got a license to print money at this point. And I wish I knew. We got to find out.
Okay, so for an album or a single, it's the same thing. 100,000 is silver, 500,000 is gold.
Okay.
Platinum is a million. And then apparently there's diamond, which I did not know of because I just heard of the iterations of double and multi-platinum. But diamond is 10 million.
Okay.
Which I really have never heard of a record hitting that.
So Square Enix had 3 titles go platinum. 2 of them were triple platinum titles, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yes.
And they're still losing a lot of money. Whose fault is that at that point? Whose fault? Could it in any way be the consumers or anything like? It's theirs.
It's theirs.
And I think it's a shame,
especially when those games are marketed very low. Like Sleeping Dogs, it had a small campaign behind it, but not really. Hitman Absolution really didn't. I think that's the worst of the 3 that didn't have that much exposure to it. Tomb Raider was probably the best. It had E3 showcase last year. It had a lot of marketing behind it, and that is probably the most successful of the 3, I would think. So really, it's where they're spending their marketing bucks at, you know?
And
if they want more sales, that's where you have to invest your money.
And it's also, I mean, how are you just so inefficient? Don't sell the game. Your inefficiency is not the fault of consumers. It's not, because essentially, here's what Square Enix is saying. It's your fault, consumers, that we only went triple platinum on 2 of our games. How dare you? Grrr.
Right.
And that's
all your fault.
That's ridiculous. And I think a lot of the pro publisher arguments are, apologizing for excessive DRM and being confrontational and contemptuous with and of consumers is really, that's lost on a lot of people. And it's like, well, hold on a second. A lot of these businesses are just really inefficient.
Yeah. And what is Square Enix again? What other successes have they had? It's either the Fallout? That's Bethesda, right?
Yeah, Fallout is Bethesda, and
Square Enix has had a lot of hits, so maybe they're just comparing it to that and being like, well, maybe we shouldn't invest in all these new IPs and whatnot. Even though they're not new. Well, Sleeping Dogs is, but still. It's on them. I got into reading since I looked up the record thing, and I've never heard that Diamond record album for 100 million, but apparently the highest one is Michael Jackson's Thriller, which was 51 to 65 million, so he earned, what is that?
He went quintuple diamond?
Yeah, like fucking, because diamond's just $1 million, so he 50 times that. But all those 50 sales.
Times. Oh, crap. Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. He got a lot of fucking records.
Yeah.
Although sales estimate for Thriller have been as high as 110 million copies, these sales figures are unreliable. So, really, Michael Jackson's probably the only person to ever have achieved diamond, if you want to consider that.
Huh.
And I think the closest ones were AC/DC, Pink Floyd. Yeah, nothing really current day, which I think is funny.
Yeah, it's considering how proliferated, wow, digital distribution and all that stuff is.
Yeah, dude, there's like no 2000s in here. Like 2000 is the minimum year of like awarded records for some of these people.
Huh.
That's really interesting. You think Justin Bieber would be up there somewhere?
Yeah, well, he doesn't care. He's got more money than he knows what to do with at this point.
True.
Why would he like, man, I don't have a diamond record. Yeah, this is bull crap. I quit.
Oh, sorry. Diamond was 10 million. My bad.
Diamond is 10 million.
Okay, not 100 million. So he had 100.
And somebody said a deal. Yeah. Is that how you say it? A deal? Adel?
A deal?
A dale?
A dale? I don't know what we're talking about. What's a deal?
Adele. It's apparently a music artist that did it. What I'm assuming Diamond.
Oh, Adele.
Adele?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I don't know. I've heard them.
Heard them?
I don't know.
What do they do?
The music.
Oh, what kind of music? Are they any good?
I don't know. I've heard of the individual.
Are they pop? Are they metal, screamo, rap? These are things that I need to know.
Well, obviously it's not screamo and rap because, like I said, every awarded individual is somewhere in the 1980s to 99.
Okay. You're just.
Why are you gotta be difficult?
I'm not being difficult. I'm just asking a simple question. You said I've heard of these people, and I asked you, okay, what kind of music do they do? And you said, oh.
Because I don't.
Well, then you don't really know them.
I've heard of the name.
Okay.
There, I qualified.
All right. Somebody tweet us #Lefty Show. What is Adele? Adele? Is that how you say it?
Adele.
What do they do? And are they any good?
She sang Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Yeah, James Bond theme. for the Skyfall movie.
The theme? I went to see it. I don't know what the theme for that was.
It's Skyfall.
Right. I'm just trying to remember the actual music in my head.
Trying to remember. They sang it at the Oscars, or she sang it at the Oscars.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
It's okay. You didn't miss much.
Okay, somebody said Adele is a band and they suck.
And they suck. All right, thank you very much.
All right, good. That's good enough.
Moving on.
Is that the chick in the Heineken commercials?
Dude, I haven't seen a Heineken commercial in forever.
The one with James Bond where he's running through a train and she's
like,
"Guy, you gotta run about a man like that." Like, who the hell is that?
No, I don't think so.
That's who I want to know.
That's actually a good commercial, now that I think of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just forgot it was a Heineken commercial. I don't pay attention to what he's holding. So their marketing kind of failed.
Skyfall, here we're getting more tweets at #LeftyShow of their musical genius, I guess. Skyfall, Rolling in the Deep, Someone Like You. They do R&B, and it's a she, apparently, not a band.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough. We learned something.
Yep.
We've learned what it takes to be somewhere up on the charts for music, so we now have goals for ourselves.
Yeah, we gotta get to work in the studio. We gotta get to work in the studio.
If all of you just buy about 1,000 copies, we should be good.
Yeah, if everybody buys 1,000 copies of,
and if they're only $10, that's only $10,000 you all have to spend.
You're gonna make more than that in your lifetime. It's a small sacrifice to.
That's like a third of your current paycheck because you're probably working somewhere that pays you $12 an hour.
Mm-hmm. See, so there you go. Be ready.
Now I think that would be kind of cool if a YouTuber, someone really big in the top 10 who has like 5 million subscribers, if they put out just one single, because it works for singles too, one single, and if they just really encouraged all of their fans just to buy it and it was $1, how fucking cool would that be?
I think Epic Rap Battles of History could pull it off.
Yeah.
Could they pull it off?
I think they could. If they promoted it like in every one of their videos for like a good 2 months.
Yeah, I think they definitely could. Epic Rap Battles of History definitely could. What does the Mitt Romney Obama one have? Like 65 million views?
Yeah, it's an insane amount of views.
Now, you're not going to be able to turn those into sales immediately.
Oh, no. Especially since a lot of those are rewatched.
You can drop a platinum album off that. Easy. That would not be hard at all.
That's way cooler than being awarded that 1 million subscriber gold YouTube thing.
I don't know. I'd still like that, too.
Oh, I would like that too, but could you imagine if people know of you as like, I don't know, a YouTube personality, or you do gaming, and then you've got a fucking, a record on your wall for like 1 million downloads. It's like, really? I didn't know you produced music. It's like, oh, I don't. I just have a big fan base.
Oh, I don't know. Really, it was just basically a.
I sold them for 50 cents. It was no big deal.
That's another thing. Yeah, I mean, what happens if you like just completely make the price something ridiculous?
I don't even know if that's what I was just thinking before you said that. I was wondering what the smallest denomination is you can charge for a single on iTunes. I think it has to be 99 cents. Just because I think iTunes would be like, well, we're not hosting your song.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
we're gonna work on an album.
Speaking of gigantic YouTubers,
yes,
you know what I'm talking about. This is really interesting.
Yes.
The ATF has decided that they have beef with FPS Russia.
Beef?
Beef.
Not chicken?
Not chicken, not pork. It's beef.
Pork's actually kind of better.
It's what's for dinner.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork is good. But a good roast beef sandwich?
Valid. Not an Arby's one. Good God, do not eat
No.
I'm getting sick thinking about it.
No.
Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but like recently there is a lot. Just to go off on a tangent, that's what we do. There is a ton, like on every channel now I watch, a ton of commercials for the Ruby's. I just said it. Arby's Reuben sandwich. It's like everywhere, and they go.
They got a Reuben now.
They have a Reuben, and it's got like marble bread and stuff, and like. They go up everywhere to like New York delis and shit like that. And like, bet you like this, like no way my Reuben's better than that. Even like, I like it now, typical bullshit like that. I'm like, really, a Reuben? You're Arby's, exactly.
No. Not eating a Reuben from Arby's. Corned beef.
Don't eat anything from Arby's.
Corned beef in and of itself is questionable. When you go to a restaurant and you're eating corned beef, it's you're worried. There's a little voice in the back of your head that's like, may have to destroy my toilet later.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's from like a restaurant. That's from a sit down, order from a menu, and a lady that brings the food out to you, and you like, there's like cloth on the tables.
Her name is Jenny.
Right? She has a real name. She's got all her teeth. Maybe even a high school education.
Maybe.
And even then you're just like, okay, like I'll eat it because it's good. It's got sauerkraut and it's just it's got a marble rye bread. Oh my god, gotta have it.
All right, is nice.
Arby's.
Somebody said Arby's is awesome, just expensive as shit. You're wrong on both fronts. Arby's is cheap as shit. Like, the coupons they give away are like, you can have all this food for $4.
Yeah.
And no, it's not good. It is really gross. The cheese is gross. The roast beef is gross.
If you're drunk and you're hungover and your taste buds are just bleh,
go to Taco Bell.
And but if you just need greasy stuff to put in your stomach to try to recover from like a long night of drinking, then it's acceptable to go to Arby's. If there's nothing around and you don't want to drive and you're sick and somebody's like, hey, let's go to Arby's, it's like, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, but to be like, hey, let's have Arby's for dinner.
You don't make good decisions when you're drunk, so that's why it gets an excuse. It falls under that bad decision category. Mm-hmm. Frankly, go to Taco Bell instead.
Taco Bell. Do they still do the Crunch Wraps?
Yep. And they released their Doritos Cool Ranch Taco as of March 1st, I think. And apparently it's not doing as well as the Nacho Cheese Dorito one.
Whoa!
Which I've never tried either, and I still want to. It's just I get everything I know is good.
No, I'm Crunchwrap Supreme or nothing. I fell in love with those in high school when they came out. I was like, man, these are damn good. I mean, they're the same. Who is it that does a bit like that? Jim Gaffigan. He does the.
Oh yeah, it's all the same crap, you know.
Right? They're all the same ingredients. All the same 7 ingredients, just rearranged in different ways. And that's not just Taco Bell. That's Mexican food. And then you watch Taco Bell commercials, and you're like, holy crap, he's right.
It totally is.
They're all
lettuce,
just the same.
Meat, cheese.
Right? Lettuce, meat, cheese, tomatoes,
beans and rice.
Beans and rice, something like that. Yeah. But something about the Crunchwrap Supreme, man. The way it interacts with my mouth feelers is just.
You just love it.
I love it.
I used to pay out at Taco Bell so much. I've been really good at cutting back and getting a few things because I mean it's like you go there and you feel like Donald Trump, who's an asshole by the way, but it's like here's $5 and then you walk out with half the supply of fucking storage food they've got there.
Right.
It's so fucking good too, and it's so bad for you.
So bad. But whatever, man. It's just
if you're eating at Taco Bell, obviously you're not really caring that much about how you're.
You go in there with $10, you walk out with so much food.
And they'll give you free food. Like, here's a bag of cinnamon twisties. Like, I didn't order this. Well, it's free. All right, thank you.
Fine, and there's cinnamon twisties, and screw it. Just eat them. What are you complaining about? Stop complaining about getting free cinnamon twisties. But anyway, FPS Russia raided by the ATF. Now, this is not a SWAT thing. This is not some pranksters called the cops on them, anything like that. This was the ATF and some other federal organizations, as well as the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, showed up at his place and I believe his parents' place with search warrants to search for illegal contraband and as they say, explosives.
Right. Which I don't know what I mean. The probable cause was people called in saying that they heard and I guess saw explosives going off. So that was their probable cause. And which, fine, but I mean, he uses tannerite, which is legal to use, own, buy, anything.
Up to a certain amount. You can't have all the tannerite you want, but it is legal in most practical amounts. It's legal to own.
Right.
Not illegal. You're not committing a crime by.
Which is why he's not in jail and he's still on Twitter.
But they showed up, and like they characterized it in the news as a raid. Like, and if I'm reading it right, like raids, they don't screw around with raids.
Yeah.
Especially if they're looking for explosives.
Yeah, I picture this raid going on where they don't come up and go, here's a warrant. They break the door down and then your ass is on the ground waiting to figure out what happened.
Or they just knock on the door, you open it, and then they just come in and say, sit down on the couch, we're looking for shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And we better find it. Or we hope we've... But here's my question, though. They have a warrant, and it was signed by a magistrate. So it was a pretty high judge. Judge, sign the search warrant, you can go. And a search warrant, for those of you that don't know, it's a It's a piece of paper that says the police have the right to enter
They
your
have
home.
probable cause to come in.
Right, unbidden and look for things. The thing about
specific things, though, they can't just.
Right, in the
if
United
they find something else, then it doesn't matter.
Well, there's like gray areas there.
There's gray areas, but if it says we're looking for, they can't just say we're looking for stuff. It says
looking
that
for
we're
illegal
looking for
things.
illegal explosives and things along those matters.
But that's one problem I had with this, though. It's probably has something to do with the recording or the reporting of it, but a search warrant has to specify the place to be searched and what is to be searched for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you just, I'm not a legal expert, although I claim to be on YouTube, but I'm wondering, is saying we're searching for explosives enough to be like
vague?
Like, well, what is an explosive?
True.
There are many things that can be combined to create
bullets
explosives.
Are explosives.
Bullets are explosives. Bullets have explosives in them. There are many things in your house that can be applied if you apply or they are.
If you
they
put
are
some
oxidizers.
aerosol cans in a microwave, you will get an explosion.
Right. If you have a torch, if you have a what is it called, acetylene torch,
a blowtorch, acetylene torch, yeah.
You've got an oxidizer, and it'll just
yeah. If you have a propane tank in your barbecue,
that's an explosive. It can be used as an explosive.
Hell, you could technically qualify the stovetop since it's a gas. It just leaks gas. That's how a stove works. It just lets gas out and ignites it.
Now, here's the thing, though. If they're looking for tannerite, and they're looking for illegal amounts of tannerite, the other question that has to be asked is, what is their probable cause? Because having tannerite isn't illegal, as everybody, because the probable cause is usually defined. Again, I'm not a legal expert, so this was, there are probably legal experts that can debate this up and down, but they have to. It's evidence that a reasonable and prudent person would be led to believe that, one, a crime has been committed, and two, the person in question has committed the crime, or that these criminal amounts of tannerite or whatever would be found via a search. Now, because FPS Russia blows stuff up in his videos, does that necessarily mean that a reasonable person would be led to believe that he has to have illegal amounts of tannerite in his residence? I would say no.
No, I wouldn't think so. But didn't the article say that it was people that had heard the explosions and whatnot? I'm fairly confident that's what it said. It wasn't just because of his videos. Because in that case, then yes, they have to check it out. But I would think you would first just send a local police officer to check it out. But
even hearing explosions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you hear a gun go off in a neighborhood and you call it in, they will check it out. They don't go up to the third highest tier of judge, get a warrant, and then send 40 people in to raid your house because an explosion went off. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think there was warranted enough for that amount of people or that action to be taken. They should have called local police first.
Mm-hmm. Now, some people are saying you need a license to use explosives to make money or for business. It's in the article.
I'm fairly confident he has that.
But, and trust me, after talking to, somebody that could be close to FPS Russia, there are still people that don't know that.
Yeah.
And they're like, really? No way, dude. And Hutch just tweeted, definitely not done with the podcast. He said he can't make the Lefty show tonight for a few reasons. Definitely not done with the podcast. Need to not be at a computer. Hutch, he couldn't find Skype.
Yeah, it took him 20 minutes to figure out how to take a link I sent him in a group chat. Okay? Mm-hmm. So give the guy some slack. He'll be here next week.
We love you, Hutch. Welcome to the PC gaming world. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But FPS... Somebody close to FPS Russia may have told me that FPS Russia knows what the hell he's doing with his channel. He knows how to run it like a business, how to get the proper licensing for everything that he does. And an ATF raid for not having a license to use legal explosives just seems weird. It seems like but I'm the kind of guy where
conspiracy theory,
like God forbid that I ever go to law school and become a judge that's in charge of handing out warrants to police officers, because police officers will never get a fucking warrant. If I'm serving as a judge and a police officer comes to me, hey, we want a warrant to break into this guy's house to search for this or that or the other thing and arrest him. Fuck you. You're not getting shit from me.
That's the thing. Judges write them like they're writing parking tickets. It's not
some
that
of them
hard
do,
to get a warrant.
Some of them do, some of them don't. And that's I mean, some people are like, oh, well, what's the big deal? I mean, he's still fine. Nothing happened.
But you have to know that for this scale of a raid and this judge to have signed it, this is a very high-tier judge. You know that a group of like local Atlanta police were watching a bunch of FPS Russia videos and going, wow, he's doing all this. It's a huge explosion. You can't pull that off with Tanner. It's got to be like C4 or something. You know that had to be it. And they probably went to the judge and went, look at the videos, could we just get the warrant? We really think,
And that's the problem that I have, is that, like, wherever you are right now listening to the show, assuming you're at home or wherever you live, and you feel kind of secure there. You feel kind of safe. You have an attachment to your home where you live, wherever that may be. Now you feel secure and you feel like, well, people can't just start walking into my home. I can tell them to leave and and defend myself from people entering my home.
The Fourth Amendment is protecting me.
Right? I cannot just be randomly accosted by police and forced to strip or do any of these weird things. I cannot be detained without reasonable suspicion or without probable cause. There has to be a warrant for my arrest, and et cetera, et cetera. All it takes is a judge to sign a piece of paper, and that all goes away.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, excuse me for being highly critical and skeptical of people that write those things and the decisions because the piece of paper says the Constitution doesn't matter to you anymore. That's what a search warrant, that's what an arrest warrant is.
But they're for good. The reason is for safety. It's so you can find evidence and things along that.
Yes, and there are reasons to have a search warrant. Yes.
Right, and you need them for because if a cop just walked into your house, which breaking the Fourth Amendment out the right, and say he found a dead body right there, he legally cannot do anything because he walked into your house unwarranted.
Well, he's supposed to not be able to do anything.
He's supposed to not be able to do anything, but he already walked into your house without you saying it's okay. So right there, if he found anything, or if this was part of a running case and they were trying to collect evidence, if he went like into your house when you weren't there without a warrant and found evidence that could convict you, that evidence is thrown out and can never be used now because he obtained it in an illegal fashion. That's the whole point of warrants. Because it protects your rights.
And that's the idea. And somebody in Reggie Cole just tweeted me a very asinine interpretation of the basic, and you hear this a lot from hoity-toity white people that don't understand what it's like to be harassed by police officers. Now, if you go ask some guys in the inner city, some black guys from the inner city, they're going to know what it's like to be harassed by cops.
Yeah.
Unjustly harassed by cops. It happens. It happens. Cops have drop guns. They have drop guns. They have guns with the serial numbers filed off that if they accidentally shoot somebody at night because they're drunk or they're stupid or whatever, they can just put it on them and be like, oh,
here's a little cocaine, too. Here's a little cocaine.
Right? I mean, who was the comedian? Oh, God. Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, that's why I was going out. Oh, sprinkle some crack on.
Right. That actually happens. That actually happens. And so the idea of, oh, well, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the big deal? If high-level police come to your house, you're going to do what they want. That's not the point. The point is, what happens if you do have something to hide? What happens then? What happens if you wanted to experiment with pot over the weekend?
See, that falls under the same thing as the Patriot Act and things like that, where they can constantly, right now, just look into your emails and see what you're doing.
Yeah, what if you got nothing to hide?
What do you care? You got nothing to hide. It's like, that's not the point. And sure, I have nothing to hide, but I got a couple things I may be ashamed of. You know? There's some stuff I don't want out there, but it's not illegal or bad.
There's this kind of huge document that says that you shouldn't be able to do the things you're doing, but you're still doing them. And so if this is okay because I have nothing to hide, where does that line get drawn? Where does that line get redrawn now? That this far, no farther.
Right.
To quote Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise, where does that line get redrawn? That's the thing, and that's why there should be such a staunch aversion to these kinds of things and just such skepticism. Just they had a warrant. It's like, well, why did they have a warrant? Now in I believe it's in the state of Illinois. I don't know if I think it's not federal yet. It's not national. But in the state of Illinois now, here's the thing. The state's attorney, who is not a judge, the state's attorney or somebody high enough up in the state's attorney's office can write search warrants. The state's attorney.
That is bullshit.
They can write search warrants. Because the whole idea of the judicial system, if you understand checks and balances, is so that the state's attorney shouldn't be able to write warrants because they are the police. Exactly. They represent them in court. But no, drug case. Oh, no. Drugs. Gotta stop drugs. Drugs are bad.
Yeah, that's right. Violate rights to stop drugs,
And you got nothing to hide. What's the problem with having nothing to hide? If you got nothing to hide.
Okay. Pull me over whenever you want for no reason just to say hi.
Yeah. Get out and search the car. Let me just search the car. Yeah. No. So I don't know what's going on with FPS Russia. I might talk to somebody that's close to his operation tomorrow. But yeah, it's I don't know. Performing a raid for amounts of tannerite, to look for criminal amounts of tannerite. It's like, what? Why? Did you have loaded? Because I'm assuming they had loaded weapons drawn.
They had it. It wasn't 40 dudes with the FBI, the blazers.
Just walking up, like, hey, what's going on, dude? We're just gonna look around if you don't mind.
Make sure you get tannerite.
We're gonna walk around in the woods.
On the ground. I've got an AR-15 in your back.
Mm-hmm. So, that's.
Probably had a gun on them too.
And that's the other thing I was worried about, because this person who may or may not be close to FPS Russia's operation loves having guns around. A lot of guns.
Everywhere.
Around. Just everywhere. So, and he loves the idea of somebody trying to come up, come to his property and try to do stuff. So I'm surprised that nothing really happened along those lines.
Hopefully this went down in the day.
Yeah, but North Korea, as we close out, we got what do we got? We got about 15 minutes left. North Korea is getting squirrely, and a lot of young white people are really scared for no reason, because North Korea is just a troll. They're just
a troll.
That's just it. I mean, how long has this been going on now?
For like 3 weeks.
Really?
Maybe even a month.
Just every day, and then there was.
It's just a little kid who's angry and trying to get some, show. Mm-hmm. His dad had that kind of whole big fear legacy, and then he popped in. He's like, "Well, I should probably do what my dad did. I'm a little unpredictable. It might scare him a bit more." Mm-hmm. Cool, you're invoking fear, but it's a bluff. All he can do is attack U.S. military bases in Japan and maybe Guam. Which that is U.S. territory technically, because there are military bases, and you will, in fact, strike a huge fucking war if you do that. But the people thinking L.A. is bombed, Hawaii is bombed, California is bombed, you're nuts. They have short and medium range missiles. We were talking about this before the show went on. The furthest one can reach Guam, if
maybe
it doesn't fall in the Pacific.
Not with a very high level of accuracy.
Right, and not with a high shit ton of nuclear warheads on it either, because that would definitely weigh it down, and it would definitely hit the water.
So, and you saw somebody on Twitter that didn't know what they were talking about.
Somebody said that several people too. So I'm saying several said they've got missiles that can reach Kansas, man. I'm like, well, okay,
please tell me they said it like that too, man, dude.
They can reach Kansas.
They got Kansas, man.
And
Kansas.
I'm like, where does it say this? And then I was linked an article that said, oh, never mind. It's actually their rocket no one has heard of that is in secret development that can reach to Kansas. And I couldn't even.
We would like to have a missile that could reach Kansas.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They got Google Fiber now. Maybe if they negotiate to share some of that, we won't bomb them immediately. But seriously,
take Kansas, take it, whatever.
Take it. Put that one, North Korea. Take Kansas. We won't give a fuck, really. We'll go. Should we really bomb North Korea? They only took out Kansas.
We should kind of thank them.
I mean, our
what's in Kansas, really? What's in Kansas?
Corn. Corn and tornadoes.
Corn and tornadoes.
And really, we could do with a lot less tornadoes.
I mean, we were going to wall off Kansas and make it a prison colony anyway.
That's a funny thing, though. Like, if a nuke did theoretically go off in Kansas and it still kept those tornadoes going, like, say it didn't fuck with the jet stream, wouldn't it be funny if there was a glowing green tornado of radiation? That would probably get tornado hunters the fuck away from it if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
But
somebody says they have rockets that can reach orbit. Somebody's tweeting hashtag Lefty Show.
Yes, they've sent up a couple satellites, and they had an ICBM project, and guess what? It fucking failed.
Everybody watched it fail.
Off the ground or some shit like that. So no, they don't have rockets in space. They've sent rockets with satellites to space, but that's it. Their ICBM project failed off the get-go. Mm-hmm. They do not have anything to reach us. Japan is in the cross line. But really, if you bomb a military base in Japan...
Take Nintendo. Screw it. I don't care.
You're going to piss off the U.S., South Korea, and Japan.
Kotaku, too. You know who's going to be really pissed if you take out Japan? Kotaku.
Yes.
They're like, what are we going to write about now?
And all the Wii games you can think of.
Oh, man.
Come in arms
take the Wii.
You.
Please, take the Wii. Take the Wii U.
I think that would be kind of funny to see, because maybe if they did... God forbid, but maybe if I don't believe, so it doesn't really matter. But if they bombed a U.S. military base in Japan, you've pissed off the United States, South Korea, and Japan at that point because they're in the crossfire.
And China. China wouldn't like it.
Too. China wouldn't like it because they're an ally of them. They'd drop them probably. So you've got 4 pretty big fucking countries now. That's where you go, all right, you've had your fun in the sun by North Korea. We're going to make it one big South Korea now. Mm-hmm. We'll give you food and electricity if the nuclear fallout isn't affecting you that much.
And to the guy that said they should take out Canada, how dare you? That's
our backup. That's our backup United States. If this one gets bombed and it burns to the ground,
there.
We're going north.
We're going north. Screw Mexico.
It ain't
too
Mexico.
hot.
No, it's way too hot, and it's sinking, literally.
Is Mexico sinking?
The Mexico City is constantly sinking. It's like built on mud or some shit like that. But yeah, it's sunk a lot over the course of its existence. Yeah, we're going to Canada. It's just like it. It's a little bit colder, and they have a lot better benefits. We're just gonna go up there.
Say hi, Canada. What's up?
And their fucking immigration policy is pretty liberal as opposed to coming in the United States. So whatever.
Plus, they're more laissez-faire about pot, aren't they?
Oh yeah, well in Vancouver. Yeah. Plus, drinking age there is 18 and 19 in a lot of places. So.
Yeah, but their beer is awful.
Fucking bring the beer. Who cares?
Bring Miller and Anheuser-Busch.
Exactly. Bring them up. Just run a giant pipeline.
Leave Corona though. Leave them. Screw it.
Pipeline from Colorado. Get the Coors factory pumped up to Canada.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, see? But people freaking out over this need to calm down. Nothing's gonna. If something does happen, it will not affect your life. We will just enter a third war you've been alive through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
which hey. We fought them. We didn't fight them, did we?
Who?
North Korea? I know we just helped South Korea with military presence. There was a Korean War. Yeah, there was a Korean War.
Well, right, but I think that was more like surrogate fighting, like Vietnam was with the Russians. China was involved, I believe, with North Korea. And it was more just U.S. forces and Chinese forces engaging than it was.
Right.
It was
Fun fact, the Vietnam War was because of France.
The Vietnam War wasn't even really a war.
Yeah.
It was never officially declared. You know what also was never really officially declared as a war? The Iraq War, the war in Afghanistan, the war on terror.
Which Iraq War?
I don't think... No, neither of them. Neither of them.
That's interesting.
I don't think were declared as wars.
2 Iraq Wars. I was not alive for the first one.
When was the... I think...
That was in Bush. Bush 1.
Well, right. No. But I'm just talking about checking when was the last time Congress has formally declared
a war?
Declared a war. Not provided oversight on a military operation or given the okay on an executive order. I'm talking about a formal declaration of war by Congress. When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, because we didn't sign any treaties.
Do my bidding, minions.
I would have to say, was the Persian Gulf?
The Persian Gulf War was the first war in Iraq.
Oh, right. Then I'm going to go with World War II, because that's an obvious, solid answer.
Was Korea declared a war? I know Vietnam wasn't.
Based on what you just described it to me, I don't think so.
Somebody linked me the Wikipedia page. No, I just want you to tell me formally. I don't want to look.
I don't need the. Oh yeah, we were right. Okay.
It was
World War II. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Wow. Good job, America.
I mean, they're really not wars because there is no real victor. We just kind of back away. That's all we do.
Well, right, but the whole point is that if we're, the states or the many states represented and the people that live in those states represented by their elected officials should decide collectively to go to war,
right.
not
one dude
like some Yahoo from Texas
and no,
that
the
wants to go
Cold
avenge
War
his
was
father.
not a war.
No, it wasn't a war.
It was not a war. That is the one thing that has war attached to it that is very iffy.
It could have been a war. JFK
it easily could have been a war.
Wanted to assassinate fucking Castro. They tried. It was like, oh crap, it failed.
Then there was the Russian missile,
crisis.
Cuban Missile Crisis. That would have been a fucking bad war. And yeah, there was a lot of shit that could have went down during those Cold War times. When did that wall go down? 92? It was 92 or 94?
No, because that would have been.
No, it
Bill
had
Clinton,
to be right then.
Genius. It was 80 something. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. It was, it was. God, it wasn't. Was it Reagan or Bush? No, it was Bush. I think Bush.
I
can't remember.
I was right. 90.
It was 90. Okay.
Yeah, and it was up for 61. So. Man, that was a long time. I kind of wish I would live during that part of history. That's kind of interesting.
What,
but very
wondering
scary.
if you would see mushroom clouds? Because that would have happened. The Russians did have missiles to reach us, and they had a lot of them.
That's the whole point. That's why we in Russia have the longest-reaching missiles and the base quantities, because of the Cold War.
Longest-reaching missile.
We're at both ends. We got to reach each other. Otherwise, Europe's going to get fucked up or something.
God, please stop with the sexual overtones. I can't handle it. And also, one of the greatest things to come ever out of this whole North Korea thing is the Twitter handle Kim Jong Number Un.
Oh my God, yes.
This is the greatest thing. And before the show started, I was laughing at something because I thought it was hilarious. And I'm surprised you haven't found it. Just the background for Kim Jong Number Un's Twitter page is the album art of Creed Greatest Hits.
The number?
Kim Jong Number Un, if you go to his Twitter handle or go to his Twitter page. The background, the image that you see is Creed Greatest Hits.
I was wondering what that was.
It's so good. A few choice selections, if you'll indulge me.
One of the tweets says, "Happy 2013, y'all," or as we call it in North Korea, 1613.
You read this earlier. People of North Korea, please stop asking Siri where the food is.
This Twitter account is awesome. One milkshake would bring literally millions of North Koreans to the yard.
Let's see.
Oh my God.
If anyone knows Joe Biden, please tell him to stop sexting me.
Dude, this one's awesome. Can't believe it's been a year since Dad died. Seems like just yesterday we were all pretending to be sad.
Okay, that's
oh
just,
man,
it's great. It's wonderful. I gotta hit this guy up with a follow after.
Fucking hilarious. And he only follows one person.
And who is that one person?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian, the only human wondrous enough to deserve a follow from Kim Jong Number Un. It's right up there because this was a huge thing for me because I thought it was hilarious. It was infuriating and hilarious at the same time. The whole Penn State scandal in the state of Pennsylvania just being a bunch of bumpkins. And there's a Twitter handle out there called I think it's @UndeadPaterno. And it's just it's tweets from a supposedly undead Joe Paterno. It's funny. They're all in the first person. It's great. But Kim Jong Number Un is definitely
it's got to be
up there. Bill Walton, the fake Bill Walton. I think it's not Bill Walton.
Bill Walton
or something like that. That's pretty good too. But Kim Jong Number Un, if you want to check it out, if you're good for some laughs on Twitter, there's There's a lot of great stuff. We're going to go ahead and end the show there. It's been a glorious hour. Chiz, I still love your Luigi hat. Where'd you get that?
Thank you. I got this online. And it's cool because since it throws everything backwards, well, I guess it does on the stream, it does for us. It's Waluigi because it's backwards.
Oh, to you it's Waluigi. To me it's not. It looks like the regular Luigi.
Well, then I won't turn my head.
No, you see, if you I want to know what your plan was there.
I really, since that would involve suicide, I wasn't going to.
I want to know, no, but I want to know what you were doing there just now.
I wonder if this shows up. No, that's still an M. Because it flips it this way. I thought it would flip it upside down.
Why would it flip it? Are you upside down? Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Were you expecting that to be flipped upside down?
Yes,
so it would be a W. Are you upside down?
Perhaps.
In your own view of what's happening
my own
on
view, I'm upside down right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm stupid. What can I say?
Okay. All right. I think that's a perfect place to end the show. But anyway, guys, that's our time. I thank you for joining. As always, I thank you for leaving a like on this video. My co-host, you can follow him at Dr. Chiz, as well as check out his YouTube channel. Still going strong with the Bioshock Infinite Let's Play on his channel. You can go ahead and check it out. A link is in the description, youtube.com/drcoffeemd. I'm your host, Lefty. You can follow me at Lefty643. Obviously, you're here watching it on my channel. Hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. Anyway, guys, that's our time. We got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. We hope you enjoyed. We're going to try to do it all over again, better, bigger, stronger, faster next week, hopefully. That's the plan. We don't know. If you're good with graphics, send us some of your work. If you want to do a Lefty show, a few different backgrounds, templates, and stuff on spec, that'd be great. We can discuss pricing later on. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. We hope you enjoyed. We are out. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.